All right, Geert, thanks again for connecting.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the time in this video to discuss a question related to signing the Declaration of Conformity, the DOC.
Mm.
Um, does the signee, the person who puts his signature on the document, needs to have certain qualifications? And let me just detail this a little bit by sharing my screen. Yeah. So I've shared the Pressure Equipment Directive, Article 6, obligations of the manufacturer. And as is found on many occasions in the document, in the PED document, we have the Declaration of Conformity, which, as I understand it, is given by the manufacturer of the equipment
That's
to
correct.
state that the design and the entire process is being done in accordance with the PED.
Yeah.
And this document always has to be signed by
That's
someone.
correct. Yeah.
So does this signee needs to have certain qualifications? Like typically, who is it, and how is that organized?
Yeah. That's not specified in the PED. Of course, it must be someone who is a representative of the manufacturer, of course.
Yeah,
But the manufacturer is free to say who is going to sign the Declaration of Conformity. In lots of cases, in my practice anyway, I was head of the stress analysis department, and I knew a lot of the technical and the essential safety requirements of the Pressure Equipment Directive.
yeah,
And for that organization, I have signed as head of the department the declarations of conformity. But
right.
every manufacturer is free to appoint someone else. You can also imagine that CEO of an organization, which is
Yeah,
the highest person in the organization, is responsible for everything that is happening in this organization.
yeah,
That he will be the one who is going to sign the Declaration of Conformity.
yeah, yeah.
Also possible, for instance, that a project manager or a project engineer is signing this declaration of conformity because it's his project. So there are a lot of different ways that a manufacturer can appoint a representative in his organization to sign the declaration of conformity.
Right. So there are no, just summarizing, there are no specific qualifications
No,
that for this person in the
no,
PED document.
yes.
Um, and like, let's say this person would leave the company. Let's say it's not the CEO, but let's say a project manager who at certain
Mhm.
point in his life, leaves the company.
Yeah.
Um, so does this person have a certain responsibility related to this project, or is it basically like him
That,
representing the company when making that signature?
yeah, that's always the question that you get. If a project manager or a project engineer was asked
Yeah,
to
yeah,
sign the declaration of conformity, the question, of course, was if something goes wrong, if there will be an accident, and am I personally um,
exactly. Yeah,
responsible for the accident actually because I signed the declaration of conformity.
yeah,
That in some organization that really is a problem that people are refusing to sign the declaration of conformity.
yeah,
But on the other hand, if you follow the rules of the PED, then there really is no problem because if there is a judge who will assess what has been carried out, he will ask, for instance, the documentation for the project. And if everything went as expected, and you fully can agree that everything is done to fulfill the essential requirements of the PED, a judge will have no problem. The only thing
yeah,
is if you have not done that, so you deliberately uh, will uh, take actions to avoid that your fulfilling the requirements, and
Yeah.
they'll find out later, then you really are responsible, of course.
Yeah, but I mean that is a responsibility, a burden. I mean, you can also, I mean, like even if you do it unintentionally, let's say technically you could miss something.
Yeah.
So does this signee bear personal responsibility in your experience? Have you ever
No, I've never experienced that. That there were people anyway for the pressure equipment directive. I've seen
yeah.
other accidents happening, and even in that case, not the signee was convicted, but someone who made the calculations and the drawings. So
Oh wow.
um,
Yeah.
even if you um,
Signed.
haven't
Yeah.
signed the declaration of conformity, it's always possible to be responsible because you made the stress calculations,
Yeah.
or you made the drawings, and if you can prove that this is was deliberately done, this mistake, then you can then be convicted. But I
Yeah.
signed
Yeah.
a lot of declarations of conformity, and I'm still not in prison. So
All right, nice work. All right, thanks for sharing your experience and take on this matter here.
yeah, you're welcome, Luke.